Hello, Ryan Fritz here, talking to you about moment arms. So this is a huge component of strength training that I use. It's very scientific. It's using physics to make exercises easier or harder. And we're basically using moment arms, or the distance from an axis to a load, okay? So distance is the main component of a moment arm. So these are examples. I have a bicep curl, a bench press, a squat, and this is a rotational kind of trunk rotation. So sorry if these aren't great renderings, but hopefully it drives the point across. So again, distance from the axis to the load. So this moment arm on bicep curl from your elbow joint to the weight is X, okay, or certain amount of torque, okay? So there's a reason why when you do a bicep curl, it gets lighter here or is easier in this position than in that position. This moment arm is a lot greater than this moment arm, okay? So this weight from a gravitational dumbbell challenge, this weight is changing the amount of load that or force that you're having to move it. So it will be easy here, hard here, and easier because it's getting closer to that axis point. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'll go over a bench press, okay? When you do a chest fly, so this is just an example, shoulder joint to resistance, okay? When you're at the top of the range, it's super easy and it's not very challenging. That's because the moment arms are real small. The distance between that resistance and the shoulder, they're almost stacked at some point, which offloads it a lot. Okay, as you get down to that low position, there is a much greater moment arm from that shoulder joint to that weight. So that's why it's harder there. So again, easier here, harder. So we can use this information to manipulate or make harder or more intensity, basically, or better challenges on our resistance exercises. So an example, what we could do is we could add a wrist cuff with a cable or a band, and we can challenge as this comes up. This wrist cuff here might be pulling there, so there's a lot more force needed to go horizontal. Down here, there's a lot more force to go vertical, so we can kind of offset by making a couple of different challenges or adding things to increase the moment arms in certain positions, okay? So something to be aware of and be thought conscious about when you're creating challenges for people. Also, this is great information if you have people with jacked up joints or injuries. You can offload certain positions or ranges that they have pain in. So very powerful tool. Our squat example is standing up. These joints are pretty much stacked over top of each other and they're kind of in line with the resistance. So the moment arm is very small, and that's where you're the strongest. You can hold a tremendous amount of weight in a standing position, and as soon as you fold up, everything gets further away from that center or away from the load, and the moment arms get bigger and it makes it harder, more challenging. The intensity goes up dramatically. So that's why, you know, we can hold, I don't know, 5-10 times the amount of weight standing up that we can in a folded squat position. Okay, for rotation, trunk rotation, if your arms are pulling on something and you're rotating here, the moment arm is a lot smaller to that load or resistance. We get our arms out real far, then we have this huge moment arm and the torque is a lot greater, okay? So you can change different things and change your angles to create offloading or end range loading, different types of challenges or stresses. So the last thing I want to kind of go over is just the magnitude of this. So let's say this dumbbell is 10 pounds, okay? And let's say this is 12 inches from your elbow joint or axis to the weight or load. So this would be 120 pounds of torque on that elbow joint, okay? So very, very powerful, significant stuff. 10 pounds creates an internal environment at your elbow tendons, your biceps, your forearms, and that elbow joint of 120 pounds of torque. So when you're doing 400-pound deadlifts and you have a 24-inch moment arm, you're producing or generating thousands of pounds of torque in that hip and knee joint, okay? So that's why we have so many joint injuries and issues. So this is all just food for thought to get you thinking differently, being smarter and more scientific about your load profiles, how you're challenging people. So good luck.